Hello out there, all you beautiful, perfect little Rowan Atkinsons, getting in and out of scrapes in a slapstick fashion without saying very many lines. He was Mr. Bean. Welcome to week 34 of your State of the Beanian address. We'll get right to our profile and beaniness for this episode. A big thank you to user Brownbird for creating and sending us a bunch of Small Beans pins that we just got in the mail that look incredibly awesome and will be available for sale fairly soon. So thank you, Brownbird, for those. They look great. We love them. You can chat with Brownbird on the Discord if you want. He's a cool guy. Other updates. As you might have guessed from what I just said, a merch store is coming very soon, aside from the usual pins, hats, shirts, and things like that, mugs. We're also going to have some unique digital downloads we think you'll like. Some rap singles coming out, and then some short stories, like produced audio plays of short stories with sound effects and everything. So that'll be cool. It'll be an interesting, funky little shop. Also, in case you missed it, we hope you check out our new series, My Top 8, on the topic of friendships. That's our new podcast hosted by Maggie Mae Fish. There are 2 episodes out already. More coming very soon. My Top 8. Check it out. If you're on Instagram, we are too now. We're called Small Beans Comedy on Instagram. Also, if you haven't been to the Patreon page in a while, we have new tiers, new reward tiers. So do check that out. I'm not going to go into detail because you can read it. Also, we have a brand new video series launching. It's going to be called Family Meeting. The pilot will drop on Friday, and it stars myself, Cody Johnston, and Katie Stoll. I think you'll really like it. So that's cool. New sketch series for people who aren't on the podcast tip yet. I am also guesting, speaking of podcasting, on a lot of our friends' great podcasts in the month of August, the month I am referring to as August. Anyway, you can catch me on Best Bad Movie Ever, Hypecast, You Can Tell Me Anything, Behind the Bastards, Bleak in Review, and many more coming up. So check the Patreon page out if you want to literally hear every word I ever say into a microphone, or learn about some really cool new podcasts you might not be turned on to that came to fruition when Cracked disbanded. So I'm going to be on a lot of those. Last but not least, our monthly patron-only episode this month will be a Q&A session with the amazing, incredible, peerless Robert Evans. So, if you are a patron, please go to the Patreon page, find the appropriate post, leave your question in the comments, and Robert, Abe, and I will answer it near the end of the month. And again, that episode will be for Small Beans members only. Okay, I think that's it. We're ready for the news and jokes about same. And there's one guy I love to turn to in cases like this. His name is Jonny Papes. What's the good word, John?
Extree, Small Beans News, the only public record of opinion that's a private MP3 of facts. Extree, President Trump comes under fire after it's alleged he disposed of sensitive documents by eating them. Trump has fired back on Twitter saying, quote, "That was just a really flat white hamburger. Everyone knows the only paper I eat are the little bits of zigzag that come off when I smoke my morning doob on the toilet and tweet the first string of words that collides randomly in my senile mind. Purple monkey dishwasher. Read all about it. Paul Manafort found guilty on 8 counts of fraud. Damning evidence from Rick Gates, a scandal we can only hope will be dubbed Dickgate in children's history textbooks, weighed heavily on the public imagination, unlike the amount of hair futilely clinging to Gates' nefarious skull. Gates says he knows Manafort is a criminal because it, quote, takes one to know one. Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has also pleaded guilty to 8 counts of fraud and may face up to 5 years in prison, or however long it takes for Trump to pardon him. Even if they are pardoned, however, the 2 men face bleak futures and careers that are forever tarnished, which experts expect could lead to severe cases of postpartum depression. Read all about it. Extree. Vice President and professional impeachment awaiter Mike Pence has been on tour promoting the Space Force, the newest branch of the U.S. military. The White House has announced the tour will include a multi-billion-dollar, night sky illuminating, China terrifying space parade of impossible U.S. military might that President Trump has already been forced to cancel. However, Pence still plans to make a low Earth orbit in a solo capsule, quote, just to get a break from the guy. guy. Read all about it, read all about it. NASA announces plans to shoot a rocket into the sun. If the mission succeeds, they say, this will pave the way for eventually firing Elon Musk into the sun. And after that, anyone who wants to sign up to get off of this doomed planet. Volunteers already number in the millions. After NASA promised Elon Musk will be fully disintegrated by the time subsequent shuttles arrive. Read all about it, read all about it. New study shows that inflation has kept pace with income growth among poor working class, meaning that while the top 1% have seen record income increases, your local janitor or fast food worker is poorer than they've ever been. And I should know. As a 1930s paperboy, my income has remained static for 85 years. 2 bits a bob, a couple of buttons, and a half sandwich a week, plus a spanking at Christmas just to feel the warmth of human contact. In related news, Jeff Bezos opens a closet door and accidentally crushes his whole family under a cash avalanche. Read all about it. Extree, extree, extree. Airport employee uses plane at SeaTac as impromptu taxi. Despite what Star Fox taught us, doing a barrel roll fails to save him. May the troubled man rest in peace and complimentary peanuts. And dear God, somebody please shoot Slippy. Read all about it. Extree, extree. LeBron James went to war on Twitter with Donald Trump over the president's attacks against his charitable endeavors. Yes, the old white man tasked with, among other things, educating the nation's children, hates the young black man for educating the nation's children. Guess who's wrong? Only a dunk contest can decide for sure. Read all about it, read all about it. President Trump continues to brazenly obstruct the Mueller probe at all costs, this time by systematically beginning to revoke the security clearances of intelligence officials who oppose him. Said one Trump advisor, quote, "The swamp will run white with the voided paperwork of our enemies." John Brennan, Trump's most high-profile target thus far, has responded, quote, "Listen, guy, it's not the stuff we might find out about you that's the problem. It's the stuff we already know you did, diphead." Trump to begin development of a memory erase ray. Or, failing that, bring back the guillotine. Explained Sarah Huckabee Sanders, White House press secretary, quote, "The president, king of deal-makers, has shrewdly noticed that there is nothing in the U.S. Constitution prohibiting bringing back the guillotine, and that's not his fault. The White House press corps were then guillotined, except Helen Thomas because she's too short to reach the blade, and this just in, died in 2013. Read all about it, read all about it. Child substitutes phone call for parent's birthday present. Parent quietly assumes they don't yet have their shit together. Extree, extree. John Mayer burgled. His property's a plunderland. Yes, a mere 3 months after purchasing a house from Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine, John Mayer's home has been robbed, much as he robbed his entire stage act from black blues musicians. John Mayer has said he's confident Adam Levine was just coming back for his lucky pick, but this claim has been undermined by the capture of a career cat burglar who turned himself in after realizing his horrendous mistake. "Believe me," said the suspect, "I cased the joint when it was Levine's, not Mayer's. I may be a scumbag, but I have some limits. Read all about it, read all about it. Extree, extree. Roundup ordered to pay $289 million to a man whose cancer was caused by exposure to their eponymous weed killer. Millions of cancer-ridden gardeners get in line for their share, prompting Roundup CEO to muse aloud, quote, "Boy, these litigants sure are cropping up like, I don't know, some kind of floral pest." The company plans to rebrand themselves as a military contractor making chemical weapons and is already more valuable than they've ever been. The new venture, Wound Up Speed Killer, will be on the market now. Extree, extree, read all about it, read all about it. SJW Soytard Cuckboy virtue signals, derailing the echo chamber circle jerk and wrecking 10 crates of Bernie bumper stickers and a kale thing made of kale. Smoothie? Anyway, empathy makes you weak. LOL. Read all about it. Read all about it. Breaking news. President Trump has just won the dunk contest against LeBron James. Wow, really? Huh. Well, we have no idea how that happened, but I'm afraid he's got us. This paper hereby officially endorses Donald J. Trump, our history's greatest president and dunksman. His signature move? The fact that the contest was held behind closed doors with only a Russian interpreter present, and he says he won. Said Trump's interpreter, quote, "Remember, the traveling you see happening, the air balls you hear, this is not what is happening. Trump later added, "There's nothing in the U.S. Constitution that says you can't lie about your score, and that's not my fault," which is technically correct, and a real shame for LeBron James, who has now been relegated to the dustbin of history, little more than a piddling millionaire philanthropist sports idol. In related news, Congress figures they should probably get around to writing down all the shit you're not supposed to do that our forefathers never thought anyone would be ass-headed enough to try and do. Read all about it. Extree, extree. Football season is ramping up, and despite league-wide threats of suspension, many players have still chosen to take a knee or otherwise protest the playing of the national anthem. Some have called these players traitors to the nation for doing so, which makes sense, because football has been an integral part of American society since the country was founded in 1920. No, wait, that's when the NFL was founded. Wow, that recently. At any rate, by the same logic, please note that should your dentist, mechanic, sex worker, locksmith, or paperboy provide service without singing the national anthem first, they should be reported to the NSA immediately. Read all about it. Read all about it. Omarosa releases tell-all book about the Trump administration, alleging that Trump drinks 8 cans of Diet Coke a day, regularly used racial slurs in private, and that Melania plans to divorce him and take custody of Barron the day he is out of office. Trump flatly denies the accusation, saying, quote, "Look at my body. Does this look like a Diet Coke body? You," racial slur redacted. He failed to comment on Melania's plans for divorce, but has vowed to soon extend National Bring Your Daughter to Work Day into a year-long celebration. In related news, Melania Trump's parents have successfully immigrated to America, using a pathway the Trump administration is currently fighting to dismantle. Melania explained the apparent discrepancy to press, saying, quote, "In Soviet Russia, public hypocrisy is acceptable." Extree, extree, small beans news. Japes in papes, legal scrapes shape our fates. If anyone's listening, which they probably ain't, read all about it, read all about it. The president of Venezuela has been attacked in an apparent assassination attempt in Caracas. The president was giving a speech when 2 drones strapped with explosives detonated, leaving many concerned that we may be on the verge of some kind of kick-ass sci-fi futurescape dystopia that's probably a metaphor for something. Laser whips and cortical shunts still in development. In the meantime, history will forever remember the first human killed by a robot as a mentally ill black American, and the first robotic assassination attempt as against a South American leader. Rich white guys everywhere like, man, it's amazing how they never figure out who they should actually be going after. Whew! Read all about it. Read all about it. Extree, extree. A weather scientist named Carl Pennypacker hopes to combat rampaging summer wildfires with a series of layered satellites that constantly scan for fire from space and can draw firefighter attention to a blaze within minutes. Although this technology could save untold numbers of lives and acres of property, we're choosing to focus on the fact that Pennypacker is a funny name. Pennypacker. Ugh. What's the matter? Couldn't afford the nickel packer? Fuck you, Carl Pennypacker! Seriously though, he's a real inspiration. Read all about it. Extree, extree. Small Beans News, the only news source endorsed by QAnon. Because what are they gonna do? Prove we're lying? Read all about it. Read all about it. New climatology research warns that we are in the midst of a hothouse Earth effect, an accumulation of unstoppable natural forces like Arctic ice melt and carbon release from dying plants that may foil all current attempts at combating climate change. On the bright side, say researchers, we weren't trying that hard anyway, so it won't be a huge shift in policy. Sarah Huckabee Sanders has responded to the report, saying, quote, "There's nothing in the U.S. Constitution that says you can't preside over the downfall of the species and do nothing to avert it. And that's not..." Then she passed out due to a record heat wave, forcing those present to the ink is running. Fuck, it's hot. Alright, hold on, I'm just gonna... lie down for a minute. Hey, those papes aren't free. Those are my papes. Forget it. It's too hot. Just take them. Too hot to finish. Sent. Okay, I'm going to assume he was going to say ends. Too hot to finish sentence. Which I get that it's hot right now across the country, but I don't know why you start a sentence if you can't finish it. That just seems a little... derelict of duty. Also, all of his papes have been stolen. And I gotta be honest, he's sweating through my shirt pocket. Like Johnny Papes' sweat is getting on my left nipple now.
So I'm going to go wipe my nipple, and I will see you guys next time on Extree. And I hope you know that we love you.